Hey guys, this is just going to be a video review here of the recently released Transformers Generations Armada Starscream. Now, when I first saw this figure, I saw some initial pictures of him and heard about him. I wasn't really all that excited about him, but after seeing more photos of him and some other reviews and seeing him in person, I'm a lot more enthusiastic about this figure than I initially was. As you can see, he just comes on a standard card back. Comes with his own comic book, of course. There he is in robot mode, his two weapons. And we'll flip him around to the back. More standard stuff. Two product shots, tech specs, and a bio. Doesn't get any more standard than that. Anyway, I'm going to go ahead and pause right here. I'm going to get him out of the box, and we're going to see what he's like. Okay guys, before I dive into Starscream's vehicle mode, I'm going to talk a little bit about the comic book that he comes with, just like I always do in these reviews. Anyway, on the cover it says Armada Starscream. Obviously he doesn't call himself that in the comic book, he just calls himself Starscream. Anyway, this is a fairly interesting comic. In it, apparently, Starscream has been elected leader of Cybertron. It's got Rat Trap in it. It's a story about them going and dealing with various things. There's Metro. I don't know if that's supposed to be Metroplex or what, but that's a Titan there popping out of the ground of Cybertron. That's, you know, the main thing, kind of the main crisis in the comic. But here at the end, dun dun dun, we get some foreshadowing because we got Shockwave talking to Galvatron and Nova Prime, so that's kind of interesting. Anyway, that's pretty much all I got to say about the comics. I'll go ahead and put that to the side. And just for fun, I went ahead and grabbed Armada Skywarp, just so I could show the similarities between the original Armada design and the new Generations Armada design. As you can see, they're pretty similar looking jets. I think the new Generations one it's a little better looking in jet mode. It's somewhat sleeker. Overall, it's pretty good. He has 4 Minicon ports on him, but really only 2 are usable in jet mode. I'll go ahead and show you what he looks like with a couple of Minicons on him. Plug one right there, and oops. One right there, and obviously, you know, he looks pretty loaded up with those guys on there, so there you go. Go ahead and take those Minicons off. He's got a pair of firing missiles. They're pressure-based, so you just push here on the rear, and come on, baby. And they fire. And when they fire, the yellow piece here where the missile is housed is actually pushed out of the rest of that assembly, I guess you could call it. But overall, it's a fairly sleek looking jet. Pretty good overall. Not perfect. I mean, there's a lot of robot kibble there on the bottom, but overall it's pretty good. And like I said, I think it is an improvement over sorry about that, guys. That happens a lot with this toy. Overall, it is an improvement over this original design here. Yes, I realize this is Skywarp and not Starscream, but this is the only actual Armada one that I have. So, that's pretty much going to wrap up vehicle mode. I'm going to go ahead and pause right here, and we'll talk about his robot mode. Alright guys, here we have Starscream transformed and into his robot mode. And I went ahead and just got Skywarp next to him just for a quick comparison between the two figures here. As you can see, Starscream, the new mold of this guy is really just a much improved version of this original mold here. One of the big differences is obviously this guy here has a gigantic backpack, and he could definitely have a big backpack too, but it's optional. You can have his missiles, you know, tucked away. This guy, that is not an option. And neither one of them look particularly good from the back, but you know, that's it. So anyway, I'm just going to go ahead and move this guy off to the side a little bit. And we'll talk about Starscream a little further here. Just go ahead and zoom in on him a little bit. There we go. One really cool feature about him, he comes with these two swords, and they mount onto his wings for storage, which I really like. Now, these swords aren't perfect. I just cut my mail, so I'm going to have a little difficulty, guys. Sorry about that. Anyway, one thing I don't love about these swords is they can come apart kind of easily, so you got to be careful when you fold them out. Otherwise, that happens. I mean, it's not broken. They're designed to come apart, but it's kind of frustrating that it's so easy to do that. That's one sword, and let me just pop the other sword off his wing. There we go. Fold it out. I'll go ahead and give him his swords here. And here we have Starscream armed up with his swords, and that looks pretty freaking cool. I definitely like these swords better than the, you know, the whole... Again, that happens. Anyway, I definitely like that better than the whole wing becoming a sword motif that was on these original guys. I definitely like this better as far as swords go. And like I said, you know, his missiles can, of course, go forward in this mode too if you want them to. And they snap into place. But of course, you know, that gives them quite the backpack. I mean, it's not awful. And that is more accurate to the way he looks in the comics and everything. But it's up to you. Whichever way you want to do it. I mean, they both work. You know, it's totally up to you. Personal preference, whether you want to have these things up or down. Anyway, I'm going to go ahead and just give you a quick 360 of the figure here. You know, not bad at all. He's got a good amount of articulation. He's got some foot pivot there. He bends at the knee. Rotates there at the top of the leg. Leg's on a ball joint, so pretty much, you know, all directions there. He doesn't have any sort of waist articulation. He's got shoulder rotation, bicep rotation. Of course, he bends at the elbow. His hands can go in a little bit, and his head. Now, let me just pop his missiles up there. And his head rotates. So, all in all, pretty good articulation. Definitely better than the original Armada figures, like I said before. And of course, you can, you know, plop some mini-cons on them if you are so inclined. So let's go ahead and just put a couple on. And this one, I guess, good spot. And there is Starscream with some mini-cons on him. That actually looks pretty decent. So anyway, would I recommend getting this figure? Absolutely. He is pretty good overall. Definitely, like I said, most definitely improved over the original Armada figure. He's just a much more refined version of that. Very good figure. Definitely worth picking up. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed watching this, and I will see you next time.